Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a Target haul. I've recently picked up a whole bunch of drugstore makeup and just kind of demoing each of the products for you. So I actually placed this order last night, and then about 30 minutes later, Target was like, just kidding, we actually don't have these in store in this stock. So you need to go to this store or cancel your order completely. And then it happened again. So today, I went to 3 different Targets, which I mean, I shouldn't complain because who doesn't love a good Target adventure? I'm curious, are you an order pickup person, a drive up person, or do you browse the store every time? I did one drive up today and then the other 2 were pickups, but then I ended up going in looking at everything anyway. So it was pointless minus just like reserving the product, I guess. Anyways, whatever. Let's go ahead and dive right in. This is the one product that I didn't get to test out today just because I already had a primer and a tinted moisturizer type of product, so I didn't want to go in and like double dip, but I'm really excited to give this a try. This is the Milani Glow Hydrating Skin Tint. I got mine in the shade 210 light to medium. It says it has 29% squalane plus electrolyte coconut water blend, ultra luminous skin tint, sheer to light coverage, melts into the skin for a naturally dewy glow. If you put those 2 words plus hyaluronic acid on any product, I'll most likely give it a shot at least once. I've noticed recently the drugstore has definitely been pumping out so many different type of like skin tint, CC cream type of products. I recently talked all about the e.l.f. CC cream. If you guys are interested in my thoughts and a tutorial of that, I'll go ahead and link this video or that video up above. Another one that I really do want to try is I think it's called Paradise something, Aqua Paradise. It's a white, pink, and gold bottle. If you've tried that one, let me know your thoughts down below. Is it worth picking up? But stay tuned for later this week, whether it's on stories or here on my channel. Most likely it'll be both. We'll be going in and diving into that product. Okay, the next product that I grabbed is from Milani. I've heard so many people rave about this brow pen, and they said that it's a very close dupe to the Urban Decay Brow Blade. That's the pencil that has a retractable pencil on one side and then the liquid brow pen on the other. I've tried several type of brow markers. One of my holy grail ones used to actually be from Ardell. I feel like that was actually one of the first ones that came out at the drugstore, but it was harder to find because at the time you could really only get Ardell at Sally Beauty stores. So I used to love that one. I just kind of forgot about it. And then since then, so many of like the 3-prong and 4-prong eyebrow pens have come out. In fact, today, whenever I went to Target to pick up this order, I saw a new brand called, I think it was like Arches and Halos, Arch and Halo, something like that. There was like a whole brow tool line as well as various like markers, pomades, powders. I have a drawer full of brow pencils, so I didn't feel the need for that, but I've heard so many people rave about this one, so I decided to give it a try. I got mine in the shade 130 medium brown. Unfortunately, this was far too warm for me. I'm thinking I'm just gonna go ahead and use it as a liquid liner just because it is a really pretty, almost like red. No, it doesn't look quite as red on my hand, but in my brows it just almost pulled like a red orange. It just didn't work. So I guess I need to go in with the shade Espresso, but the swatches on the Target app, Espresso shade almost looked like it was like a jet black liquid eyeliner. So I messed up there. It's a bummer. This one was $7.99. I'm pretty sure it's either $8.99 or $9.99 at Ulta. So was cheaper on the Target side. Unfortunately, the shade just didn't work for me. Oh, another brow product, which I don't know, you guys. I'm just gonna roll with it today and see how I feel. I'm sure you guys are watching the little like B-roll clip and you're like, whoa, Dana. Don't worry, I felt the same way. I will say with this, let me introduce the product first. I'm getting way ahead of myself. This is the Got To Be Glued Styling Spiking Glue. Whenever I see people use this on YouTube, they always have like a smaller tube. I thought that's what I was ordering. This was, I think, either $3.99 or $4.99, and I got this massive tube. So I'll definitely be using this for Landon's hair as well as my eyebrows. I don't know if I'll always be doing this. I'm incredibly impressed with how it's holding everything in place, especially the tail end of my brow, just because the tails really want to make my brow hairs go down to where like whenever I fill them in, you'll see like the pencil portion up here and then my brow will be down here. The thing that I do really like about this whole method though is I didn't have to go in with any additional product. Like there's no need for like brow pencil, brow pomade, brow like tinted gel, just because whenever I brushed all my hairs up, it was just like, wow, in your face. That's a lot of brow. I was really tempted to order one of the lamination kits from Amazon, but everyone was saying how it smelled like true perming solution, and I was just too nervous to put that on my face. So let me go the temporary route. Anytime I see anything from this Got To Be line, whenever I was in cosmetology school, there was a girl whose name was originally Brooke, and then suddenly like a week later, she said her name was Megan. Beautiful girl, but I remember she used to use this same, I'm pretty sure it was the same line. It was a yellow Got To Be hairspray can, but the thing looked like a freaking air horn. It had this like crazy nozzle, and she would spray her hair up in her like side swept bangs, and they would stay plastered all day long. So I know the glued line is definitely like true to its name. So if you have a kid that has like very stubborn hair and it's unruly and you haven't given this a try yet, I bet you it'll keep everything slicked down, because I mean, my eyebrows, they're not moving. I picked up a ton of products from Wet n Wild. I have 3 complexion products here. 2 of the 3 I'm already head over heels for. So the first one is this Glass Correct Primer Base. It says that it brightens with crystal-like skin and a vitamin C. I got the yellow one. There was a green version as well. I wasn't expecting much out of this. I thought it was just gonna be a very light gel-like, but like water-based type of hydrating primer. You guys, this is so good. I know a lot of people aren't crazy about primer. They skip it, that's totally fine. But I'm someone where I have to apply primer every single time. Some of my all-time favorites are the VDL Lumi Layer Primer. A lot of my favorite primers, I guess, are more on the K-beauty side. But this, especially for the price, is incredible. I honestly feel like it performs like a high-end primer. The texture reminds me a lot of the way that the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream applies onto my face. If you've ever used that before, it has a gel-like texture, but as you blend it in, it just makes your skin feel so supple, moist, and like plump. Just almost like this bouncy layer. It doesn't have like a silicone feel, but it somehow just feels like it really smooths everything out. That's how this feels. Brightening and just illuminating without having any actual shimmer. Like there's no weird like crystal, shimmery, pearly pieces. It just looks dewy on its own. Next up, I have the Wet n Wild Bare Focus Tinted Hydrator Tinted Veil. This has hyaluronic acid and squalane, oil-free, sheer to medium coverage. I picked mine up in the shade Light. Light medium looked way more pink on the swatches, whereas light looked a little bit more yellow toned. I have to say, they are 2 totally different products when it comes to finishes. But if you're someone like myself who prefers more of a dewy, illuminated, hydrating, buildable type of finish, I think you would prefer this over the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. Now, whenever you first apply this, it looks incredibly just like dewy and wet. It does start to set down. It doesn't stay like so wet and tacky, but it doesn't dry down fully either, if that makes sense. Like for instance, right here, I didn't put any powder, and I can still feel, it's not like sticky, but there's just a very subtle tackiness still. Nothing like, it's not sticky enough to where my hair is gonna, well, I guess it'll kind of stick to it like these 2 pieces here, but it's not like so sticky where you feel like every single thing is gonna catch onto your cheeks. If you are very oily, it's a product that I think you would want to set. The only areas that I really went in to set my face were on my under eyes, right between my brows and a tiny bit on my forehead, as well as around my nose. Everywhere else I left as is. I applied cream products on top, didn't have any issues with it like lifting or moving the tinted hydrator, tinted skin veil. It definitely is a buildable medium coverage. I love this product, but these 2 products together, well, I guess that's a little bit premature because this is only my first day using it, but what I can tell you is this combination together is chef's kiss perfection. I will be wearing this combination a ton. If you have normal to dry skin, I'm telling you, you will love this combo. Even if you have oily skin, but you love a dewy finish, definitely check out this primer. It's a beauty, you guys. I'm loving them. And then the very final complexion product that I got from Wet n Wild, this is their Mega Last Incognito All Day Full Coverage Concealer. I have mine in the shade Light Beige. I'm still kind of figuring out this concealer. I think just because I love my Pony Effect concealer so much, as well as my Too Faced Born This Way, it's kind of hard to compare. This isn't a bad concealer by any means, but I'm just not saying it's like the best. I think these 2 just really impressed me to where the concealer was just kind of so-so. I'll have to try it out with some other foundations that I already know, like how they wear, how they apply and layer with things, and get back to you. It's not bad, but it's not the best either. That's probably not a very good description, but that's all I got for you on that. I did grab 2 other products from Wet n Wild. Both are from the Color Icon line. So they recently relaunched their whole Color Icon palettes. Do you guys remember whenever these first came out and it had like the black backing, and was it 8 shadows in those, or wasn't it only 6? Because then it came with a little sponge tip applicator as well as like a little brush on the bottom. Those were so good. So I've heard lots of mixed reviews about the new Color Icon palettes. I've heard some people say that they're very dry, they're very stiff. Here's the thing, the formula in these are very inconsistent. The shades that I used today, I was very happy with. I didn't have any issues with. So the mattes that I actually did test out all 4 mattes today, they were great. This is a shade that I have on the center of my lid. However, several of the metallic shades in here are very, very hard pressed and stiff. They definitely suck with the brush. I even went in with a flat shader brush just to do some swatches on my hand and it just didn't look good. Even with my finger, like this shade right here, it almost feels like it has a hard pan. The color is pretty, but it just feels like you had gone in with a wet brush and then let it dry and it's just been sitting neglected in your drawer for a little bit. So unfortunately, the formula isn't consistent all the way throughout the palette, but a majority of the shades are really good. I know I will be reaching for this palette more specifically for this shade here. I just love that perfect kind of like warm camely chestnut type of brown. I do love the metallic shade that I used today. This is what I have on for my inner corner highlights. I think there was either 4 or 5 other versions of the Color Icon palette. If you guys have one and you feel like all the shades are consistent and good, definitely comment down below. Let the class know so we'll know which one to get. But I would say like 75% of this palette is good. It's $4.99, so I'm not gonna be brutal and be like, no, you suck, because a majority of the shades were good. I did grab one other Color Icon palette. This is in Camo Flaunt. I haven't even tried this one yet. I'll go ahead and swatch some of the shades and throw them here for you. I didn't realize though the center shade, it looks like a pressed glitter. One thing that I do want to say though is Wet n Wild and e.l.f. does such a great job about just not being wasteful with packaging. There's no excess like cardboard and plastic all on the outside. Everything is just as is on a shelf. I do want to swatch or feel the pressed glitter just to see how it compares to, oh, wow. Yeah, this actually feels a lot like the ColourPop pressed shadows. I remember back in the day, Wet n Wild used to sell little individual singles of glitter shadows, but the base was like a Vaseline and the glitter was just kind of sprinkled throughout. It was a greasy mess. This does not feel like that. This feels a lot more like the pressed glitters that you find in the ColourPop palettes. So that one is really pretty. There's a ton of different shades in there. We have like a green, a lavender, a copper, a pink, and a gold. I'm excited to give this one a try. I also do want to feel, oh yeah, see, I don't know, actually. This shade here, this metallic one, does feel a little bit stiff, but then the more I touch it, seems to be picking up. Definitely better than some of the metallics in the other Color Icon palette. Okay. Yeah, it just seems like the metallics aren't quite as impressive as the mattes are in these Wet n Wild palettes. Kind of frustrating, but who knows? Maybe it'll apply better on the eyes. We shall see. The very final product that I grabbed, this is something that I've heard so many people rave about. They say that this is supposed to be a dupe of the Charlotte Tilbury, what is that one called? The Airbrush Flawless Powder. I did see though that Charlotte Tilbury recently released smaller mini versions of the Hollywood Flawless filter as well as the powders on Sephora. Even the powders, the small versions were still like $25. So I was just like, I don't use pressed powders enough, but I've been dying to try this and there was a sale on the Target site. I think it was like either 15 or 20% off. So I was like, okay, today's the day to try it. This is the number 7 Lift and Luminate Triple Action Finishing Powder. It says it has age-defying results, reduces the appearance of fine lines, even skin tone, visibly smooths the skin. The main person I always hear rave about this is Jessica Braun. She uses it as her under eye powder and does always look great on her. I have very crepey, wrinkly under eyes. I know part of the reason is because the way that I rub my eyes when they itch, it's aggressive. I could wake someone up in the middle of the night just from like the quick, quick, quick. I just go in and rub my eyes like a savage. I don't know what my deal is, but when they're itchy, I just scratch them, okay? So I haven't done myself any favors. But I have great luck with the Lancome pressed powder, or not pressed powder, loose powder that I use, as well as like the Huda Beauty baking powders. All those work great for me. But I wanted to give this one a shot just because everyone raves about it. I don't find it to be any better than the products that I currently use. In fact, I definitely do prefer the Lancome version. I went with the shade Light. I believe there was light, light medium, maybe medium deep and deep. There's either 4 or 5 shades. I do have to say though, the packaging of this is beautiful. It does look very high end. There is actually a concealer for this same Lift and Luminate line. It said it was a serum concealer. I am kind of intrigued and want to try that one out. This does apply nice. I wasn't as crazy about it for like all over the face. For instance, right here, I applied some on the side of my nose and right here on my smile lines, and it's definitely gathering more than what a powder typically does. Whenever I use the JCat Beauty Aquassurance, I never have this issue. I just find that the powder goes on so smooth and truly blurs everything. This is a very silky powder. It's not heavy by any means. It is smoothing, but I don't know. Maybe it's just the combination of this on top of the Tinted Hydrator. I can't complain for my under eyes. It is doing a great job, and that was the main reason that people were really vouching for. Oh, that already looks so gross and fingerprinty. But that's the main method that everyone was raving about for this powder. So for that, I can say A+. I definitely do need to test it more just for like my chin and my nose and my forehead with a different product, because I just don't think that these two really played friendly together. There you have it. There are some products that I recently picked up from the drugstore. Let me know what you found. If there's any specific drugstore products that you would like me to review for you here on my channel, I would love to hear all about them down below. If you have some more time on your hands, you could always check out one of these videos right here. I really appreciate you taking part of your day to spend and hang out with me. And that's pretty much it. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.